So the yoga posture for meditation should be the most important posture that you take at any time of your existence, because when you're postured for meditation, you're really postured to meet the highest that there is. And we should have the greatest expectancy too, because just behind the darkness of your closed eyes is just like raising a curtain in an opera house. You know, there's something behind there. If it isn't something that has shape or form, it'll be the infinite consciousness. And then you'll feel as though you weren't anywhere, that you'll be a part of it, in it, and a part of it. And that will be, and you will realize then that this infinite consciousness that spreads everywhere it includes you too. So, in your little prayer song that you just heard, that we just sung, it says, "Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy." With all the darkness that shrouds your mind right this moment, you're without seeing the stars, and the light is gone. You're sitting in a tomb of darkness. And spiritual aspirants are those that are well on their way. They seek to break through that darkness of closed eyes and enter into that omnipresence, the great omnipresence of God, which is everywhere, every place, all the time, and any time. It is a light behind the darkness. In the Bible, I might quote it again, as Jesus said, "If thine eye be single," by concentrating at the point between the eyebrows, when your mind becomes quiet and still, thy whole body becomes filled with light, because that is the light behind the darkness. And how beautiful that statement of the Christian scripture is. But very few understand that teaching of the great Christian yogi who taught that 2,000 years ago. He said to his disciples, he says, "To the multitudes I speak in parables, tell them little stories, little illustrations, trying to cause the mind to draw from that an abstract truth." He said, "But to you I speak of the mysteries of God." He taught them how to do these things. "If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be filled with light." Now let's see what he adds to that. "Take heed ye therefore that the light within you be not darkness." So if it's dark inside of in your consciousness now, there's something wrong. There's something that can be adjusted. The yoga science will lead you through all this maze of teachings and interpretations down through the ages. But sooner or later, you will have to penetrate that darkness that covers your own mind all by yourself. You may have help, you may have guidance, you may have fellowship, you may have teachers, but you're going to have to do it yourself. "If thine eye be single," when the eye becomes single, and the eye, the spiritual eye, which each and every one possesses, which is the eye of the mind. Everyone possesses one, but he doesn't use it because he isn't instructed many times that he has one. But that has to be developed, needing it. And meditation, daily practice of meditation, works it just like a baker needs his dough before he puts it in the oven to bake the bread. And it can be worked and activated, and finally you can be caused to see through this spiritual eye, or the eye of the mind, which is, in another sense, the pineal gland, of which each and every one has. That is the organ of psychical sight. So when you practice yoga, and when you follow the path of love and devotion, and follow the path of good action, self-realization fellowship teaches all the 5 paths of yoga. You do them simultaneously, and you have nice balance, so that you can be a good citizen of the world. You don't need to be a one-sided thing. You don't be a a left-hander or a right-hander or anything. You can go right down the middle path, as the Buddha says. The middle path is the best path. You can live in the world and still your mind can soar high into the realization of God. But only through meditation will you be able to allow your own spiritual eye to open. And if you will free your minds from all of your desires, thoughts, worries, and cares, which is the root cause of all the disturbance of the mind, because there's no realization or revelation as long as the mind functions in any sense, through the five senses, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and smelling. The five senses must be withdrawn back into the mind, just like an open hand with the fingers pointed every direction. But when you fold your fingers up into a hand, you cause a fist to be made. The conscious mind must be withdrawn, and the conscious mind don't exist unless one of the five senses is functioning, and that means that your energy inside of you is being poured out or sprayed out through one avenue of one of the five senses. So you can see how careful you have to be with yourself if you want to meditate yourself into a state where your spiritual eye can open. And it will be open it will come open by itself.